Welcome to the coziest Procreate tutorial you'll ever watch. Today we're creating a charming illustration with a limited colour palette and a nostalgic sketchy style that's perfect for the season. For beginners and advanced artists alike, I'll show you how to infuse your artwork with texture, charm and clever pops of colour to make your illustration stand out. Along the way, I'll share handy Procreate tips and shortcuts that'll speed up your workflow. I'm also offering a free download of the sketch and colour palette. You'll find links in the description below. There you will also find information on the brushes I have used to produce this illustration. However, please feel free to use what you have. So snuggle up, grab your iPad and let's dive into some creative magic. We'll start by setting up our canvas with these dimensions and colour profile. I have already created a Procreate canvas according to the settings I have provided, and I have my sketch layer in here. So to start off with, we're just going to select the N here and just switch this to multiply and take it down to around 60%, just around there, that's fine. So the first thing we're going to do is just go to the background color here and to the palette, and we'll choose this pink color for the background color. Next we're going to create two new layers and select both group and rename this group to deer. Let's select the bottom layer, and before we go ahead, let's just take the sketch layer and pop it on top here. So let's select the bottom layer here. For this job we will use the sleek marker at around 8%. The colour we'll use is this light colour here. And we're just going to create an outline of the deer. And I forgot a little bit down here just to close the shape up, and once we've done that, let's fill it in with colour. For the next job, we'll use the grungy marker at around size 15. We'll use this aqua colour here, and we'll select this layer here and select multiply. Let's just turn the sketch layer off. And we're just going to create a few highlights on the deer. And I'm just going to erase this little bit that I've got over here. For the next job, I'll be using the blotch tool. At 4%, we'll choose the pink color here. I'm just going to select this layer here, create a new layer on top. We're going to make a clipping mask, and for those of you who don't know, I'll just explain how a clipping mask works. So essentially what the clipping mask does is whatever we draw on layer 5 will be contained to this shape on layer 2, so to this deer shape. So we're just going to add a little bit of texture to the deer. Let's select the gritty crayon at around size 7. This color here, this darkest color here, and we're just going to select this layer here, create a new layer on top, and we're just going to add some hooves to the deer. So it just kind of gives a really nice kind of textured effect to the illustration. I've just got a little bit here that I'll erase. For the next job, we will use the same brush, but just take it down in size to about size 3. And we're going to add some facial detail to the deer. So let's just create a new layer on top here. We're going to keep the color, just this time we will use the Mighty pencil at around 22%. So let's turn the sketch back on and create a new layer on top, and we're just going to draw the antlers in. Let's turn the sketch layer off, just so we can see what that is looking like. And I'm just going to grab the eraser tool, just erase back a little here. Now we will add some lettering in. So let's just make this a little smaller. Now let's turn our sketch layer back on and close this group, create 2 new layers, select both layers, group, rename, and I'll just call this text. Let's select this bottom layer here. For this job I will use the textured filler at around size, try it 55. We'll use this light color here. And we're just going to create this shape here that will house the lettering. Now let's select this layer here. Let's use the grungy marker at around 25-26%, and we'll use this aqua color here. Just set this layer to multiply, and we're just going to add a few highlights to this shape. Now let's select the rugged marker at around size 15. Select this dark color here. Let's turn the sketch back on and create a new layer on top. And we will go over the lettering here. Now let's add a little few bits and pieces to add a little bit of interest to this lettering. And so we'll use the same brush and just take it down in size a bit, try at 7%. and just create a star here and a star there. Now let's use the textured pencil and just try it out around 10%. We just add a little bit of a pattern on the side here. For the next job, let's select the blotch tool again, and this time at around 43–44%, and we'll select this light color here, and let's just create a new layer on top here. Let's close this group here. We'll grab the deer and just pop on top and select this layer here. So let's just make this a little smaller, and we'll just quickly add some texture to the background here and there. Next we're going to add a border, so let's just select this layer here, actually this layer here. We'll create a new layer on top here, and we'll go to our disk, our color disk, and just teach you this little trick. So we're just wanting to select a pure white, and in order to do this we just double tap here and it selects a pure white for us. For this job we'll use the Magic Rugged Texture brush at 100%, and let's just make this a tad smaller, and we'll just create a border like so. So you start off over here, and when you reach the end, don't release the pencil because you can change the end point, but I want my end point to be around here. So when I'm happy with that, I'll release it, and we'll do that to each of the sides. Now what you can do here, if you like, you can just take this down in size a little bit and just fill the details in right at the edge a little bit. We still want a lot of the texture to show through, but I'm just going to fill it in a little bit here and there, and just release the pressure a bit so you're not putting a lot of pressure on it, so you're not taking out a lot of the detail, just a little bit. And the other thing that we can do is go down in size with this brush, and we could just sort of add a bit of texture here and there, just like that. Just release the pressure a little bit when you're doing this. So this is a really cool pressure sensitive brush, so you can kind of add a bit of texture here and there to the border. From here on in, we're just going to add a few finishing touches. So we'll just draw a beanie and a scarf, and just add a few snowflakes here and there. So let's go back to our deer group. Let's select the top layer here. The color that we'll use to go back to our palette is this yellow here. We'll be using the wet and dry brush at size 15. So we've just turned our sketch layer back on, and we just zoom in a little bit here, and we'll just roughly draw in the beanie. Now to add a little bit of detail to the beanie, we're going to select this mustard color here and create a new layer on top. We'll use the same brush. We're just going to add a little bit of texture here, like so. Now let's use the dry brush at around size 1. We'll keep the colour, and we're just going to add a scarf, and this will be done in a very kind of sketchy, rough and sketchy way. This will only add to the charm of the illustration. For the final touch, we will close this group, select this layer, create a new layer on top. We will use this mustard color, but for the job, we'll select the mighty pencil. And we can set it to around 23, 24, 25% is fine. Let's just turn the sketch layer back on. And we'll draw in the snowflakes. Let's just turn the sketch layer off and use our 4 fingers to hide all of the toolbars. So that's our final artwork. Remember, the magic is often in the little things. Let's zoom in and appreciate the details like textures, brush strokes, and those clever pops of color that bring the work to life. So let's zoom in a little bit and just have a look at all the gorgeous texture we have in the background, in the border. Even the lettering has this gorgeous texture in it. And we've got this gorgeous, beautiful, sketchy texture in the details here, like the scarf and the beanie. So isn't that fantastic? When we have those little shortcuts and techniques and a streamlined process, we can get really impressive results very, very, very quickly. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this tutorial inspired you to experiment with limited color palettes and cozy textured designs. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Please also leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay creative and cozy. Happy drawing.